Welcome to the Glow Interviews. My name is Katie Oman and I am an author, psychic, motivational speaker and coach. The Glow Interviews is a place where we can meet some amazing and talented people who are real light in the darkness. By talking to them, I know that we'll all be left feeling empowered, inspired and hopeful for a brighter future. All the contact details for myself and my future guests will be in the description box below. So do feel free to reach out if you want to know more. Today's guest is a coach, teacher, mentor and healer, Sarah Rebecca Vine. Known as the Healer of Healers, she founded the Earth Angel Sanctuary in 2014 to help all those people, and myself included, who feel as though they're here for a higher purpose. This led her to be featured on the UK TV show This Morning, as well as being featured in the newspaper The Daily Mail in 2018. She was the winner of Empowerment Coach of the Year in 2017 and most respected in spiritual counselling in South East England in 2018. Sarah has gone on to found both In Spirit Coaching and the Soul Circle Sacred Space. I am absolutely over the moon to chat with her today. She always puts fire in my belly and it's an absolute pleasure to talk to. So welcome, Sarah, and thank you for being here with me today.
Welcome. It's great to be here, Katie.
Bless you, darling. I really appreciate it. So we have to get the elephant out of the room. Let's be honest, 2020 has been the craziest year in living memory. Good Lord. So come on, let us all know, how have you been coping and have you managed to find any blessings in the chaos that's been surrounding us all?
There are always blessings. And that is this year. I mean, I've been talking about Earth Angels, light workers. It's 2008 that I first went self-employed and put myself out there saying we're here for a reason. You know, there's good guys and there's bad guys. That's why we're all here. And we're living through it right now with the virus and the lockdowns and it's worldwide. There is a much bigger picture to everything that's going on. So although it's the most challenging year, it's also one of the most exciting years because we are seeing it in real time, things that are happening, and we have to have the breakdown before we have the breakthrough.
Of course.
So I don't think that it's going to be over anytime soon. I think things play out, things have to come to the surface, things have to be exposed, and that's going to take a bit of time because when we talk about the light, which is fantastic, we also have the contrast of the dark, and it's very dark, unfortunately. But I do think we are living through it in real time, witnessing what's going on. We can choose to look at all the bad things that are going on, or we can look at all the blessings that are coming out of it. I mean, just for example, with the lockdown, it gave people time to spend time with their families, reassess their lives, and what's happening with the protests and rallies that are happening all over the place, all over the world. People are finding their voice, they're finding a purpose, they're finding something to fight for.
Yeah.
And that's exciting because so many people are like, what is my purpose? I don't know why I'm here. And you know, if you've got something in your belly that's really important to you, the children, save our children, and people are protesting, they're helping tell other people about what's going on. It's giving that purpose, that reason to fight. And ultimately, I know we have a very big election in November, which is very, very significant. This is the biggest year to date in my life for everybody. And it's not a battle between this party, that party. It is between good and evil. And in my opinion, we have already won. The light has already won. The bad guys, as I call them, they know this. They ain't going to go without a fight. But us light workers who have been here for years, and they are everywhere. Many are, and they don't even class themselves as a light worker, that are doing fantastic jobs. They're all over the globe. They're in all different professions. And, you know, my prayers and love and appreciation go to all of those out there that are things that they're bringing, you know, dealing with what's coming up. So there's a things. Unfortunately, I'm guilty of being down a rabbit hole and knowing way too much information. But on the positive aspect, that it is bringing things to light. We have to have the breakdown before we have the breakthrough. And I really want to give people hope. I believe we have already won, and we're playing through it. We're living it at the moment and seeing it, seeing good things, seeing bad things. A lot of it, none of it's in the mainstream media. You know, unfortunately, they're narrative. And so I remember when I first become a coach, I done 10 tips, and one of my top tips was don't watch the news or read the news.
No.
They want you to know.
Yeah.
And to really go into your heart space, listen to your gut. It's a moral compass, what's right, what's wrong. And if we can live in this space, do everything we can to help people around us, help our family, help elderly people, our neighbours, help our local communities, and it's that ripple effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like it is all doom and gloom, and it's going to get worse, and there's terrible things that are coming to light. Those that have the eyes to see it and the stomach to stomach it, which you can't really, you know, you get all kinds of stuff that you go through, the inner work, which is big on the inner work, the soul work, and been doing it for years with myself and with others. And to allow those emotions to come up and out, so that we can get to that place of peace, we can get to that bigger picture, the oneness, the unity of it all, and be from that perspective.
I really like that. It's funny, while you were talking, like a quote came to my mind, and I forget where I heard it, but someone said, without Voldemort, Harry Potter would have been just a normal boy. And I think for a lot of us, I mean, some people are naturally, obviously, as a light worker, which we'll get onto in a second, it's like you're naturally kind of are drawn to help and to heal and to hold the light. But I think for a lot of people, they need to fully embrace that light and to have some darkness to fight against. It helps you to step up.
We do need to go into that darkness and to bring in that light. So for all of us individually, I mean, say, the gratitude and appreciation for all the light workers on the planet, the hidden ones, the ones that we will never ever know about, the ones that give lives for the good cause. We have stuff come up within us when we find out information, when we see things, it can trigger us. There's all those things. So I'm a great believer, and it's something I've been doing a lot this year, is diving into the darkness within myself. To bring light. We have our shadow selves, you know, our egos, and it's to incorporate that, to have that love, to have that acceptance, to have that forgiveness within ourselves, to allow ourselves to process these emotions. Because if we don't process them, we're stuffing them down, and it upsprings dis-ease all over the place because we're not able to release those fully. So it's self-responsibility for ourselves, for our well-being, and doing the little things that we can to stay in a more positive vibration rather than negative. Of that famous quote about I don't know, it's a Cherokee, his grandson. He said, you know, there's two wolves inside you, and one is full of fear and hate and darkness, and the other one is full of goodness and light and love. And the grandson says, well, what one wins? And the grandfather said, the one you feed. So, and I know a lot of people that are down rabbit holes that are fighting to get this information out there, is being able to have that balance, because it's a dark place you have to go through some of the information that say that I've become aware of, and I'm aware it's a drop in the ocean as well. You know, the more you know, the more you realise how little you do know. So it's being able to have that balance, that self-care, that meditation, be able to sit with your emotions, allow them to pass, use your breath, and to focus on the good things that are out there, because no matter how bad it is, there is always a blessing. And the situation we are now, that the light is coming in, the earth is ascending, we're going from 3D to 5D, you know, a higher vibration, into a world of love and peace on earth, where people are thriving, and you know, there's just communities, people loving each other, helping each other. But we have to go through all of this together, and in my opinion, it's absolutely worth fighting for. We know
it's almost like a global dark night of the soul right now, right?
It's a global reset on many acts, and I don't know if any of your listeners or if you're aware of something called the Jasara and Asara, which is meant to be coming in. And it's basically where the world, and I have no idea of time limits on this, but the world is going to a new gold standard, which is ironic because I've been talking about the golden age on the spiritual sense, when we reach this golden age, and that's the gold standard that's coming through, which made me smile, because we've been aware of this for a long time. We are here to change the vibration on the planet and to let everybody know that it doesn't matter how small, how insignificant something you do may seem to you, it makes a difference.
Oh,
even
yeah.
smiling someone, helping someone, you know, giving someone a hug, you know, spirits, it all adds up. All the good little deeds, they all add up and they make a difference. And although online, like some people are really, they're fighting and awful things to help the good, everybody makes a difference. Everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And funny, that really leads me beautifully on to the next question, because you have massively helped me on my own journey. When I found the Earth Angel Sanctuary, it was like I felt like I'd come home. It was that thing of going, oh, this is who I am. Oh, okay, I get it now, you know? So for all those who don't know, can you give us a little bit of explanation about Earth Angels and light workers? Is there a difference, and how would you know if you are one?
Yes. So I first come across it many years ago, a little book by Doreen Virtue, and it had those different realms, angelic realm, elemental realm, star people, or wise ones. And I remember reading the book and thinking, oh, that's nice, I'm all of them. And then when I gave up my job, I took a massive leap of faith, which everyone thought I was crazy, in 2008, to become a spiritual life coach, you know, just follow this urge. And I had clients come to me, men, women, all different ages, and they'd say things like, I've always been highly sensitive, you know, or relationship issues. And there's key things that spiritual light workers and earth angels have. They have a strong sense of purpose. They may not know, they've got that, you know, I must be here for something.
Yeah.
Sensitive, you know, they're to other people, to what's going on the planet. They feel like they don't fit in. They've always been like the black sheep, you know. They may know that this isn't home, or they're just put into disruptive families and those kind of things. Sometimes they can have a ringing in one ear, which is often information that's being downloaded to help you deal with what's going on, and all these sort of key characteristics. And so I created a free report based on the book and put it out there, which I updated in 2014. I'd done a realm reader course that Doreen Virtue had at the time, these different hybrid realms. And I think is helping people to recognize that if they have, you know, if they love angels, the chance are they've got a strong angelic influence. And what this means is that I may have been an angel in a past life. I'm very much a believer in past lives. Everybody is, but I certainly am. And it can help us understand why we are like we are. People that have elemental influence, you know, they're all about the environment and saving animals and doing those kind of things. We have the wise have come out of spiritual retirement to come back onto the planet to help with the change that we're currently going through now. I mean, it's been building for years. So these are, you know, in your gut, I feel, you know, you may resonate with some of the different characteristics. If anybody was interested, I had the report, which was free on my website, which is very detailed from doing the realm reader course, to explain as much information. I think most people are a combination, you know, also that doesn't define who we are, because we are a fractal of source energy, of God energy. So on the premise that we are all one, and these are just different experiences that we may have. It just helps us understand why we are like we are and how we fit in. But I think, you know, you know in your heart, and most people, Katie, doubt this about themselves. It's like, well, who am I? You know, to say I'm an earth angel, or that's egotistical, or they doubt themselves. And I had someone say to me once, you know, oh, I don't think I'm an earth angel because, you know, I had a massive row with my partner and I got really angry, and I'm like, trust me, we've not come here to be perfect. We're human. We're human things, you know, and we're not here to be perfect. We're here to be authentic, and it's okay. We all have to deal with the different human emotions. It's part of being human, but we all have spiritual amnesia. I say all, most people have
Yeah,
spiritual.
yeah.
They, you know, and we're just programmed by the world around us. And it's as we get older and we start researching and looking into different things, oh, that makes sense. And I always think jigsaw puzzle, all these pieces, and you've got a piece of the puzzle, and then the puzzle expands, and it's actually a bigger puzzle. It's just learning about ourselves and knowing that we are sovereign beings. We are a soul. We are part of God, of Source. When I say God, you know, some people are like, oh, religious, because it's a trigger word, unfortunately, for some people. God, Source, universe, it's all interchangeable. I don't, you know, religions, that's fine. I'm not a religious person. I'm spiritual, and I believe all religions are rivers that run to the sea.
Yeah.
And it's about that love. But I come back to your question and say, how would people recognize themselves if you've got one of those characteristics, or even if you're watching this, the chances are you are one. And to look into it a little more if you'd like to find out a bit more information, because it just helps for us to understand ourselves better.
Oh yes, absolutely. It certainly helped me. It was like, it just answers so many questions. I've always felt, like you say, like you don't fully fit in and you're very different from everybody else, and rather than seeing that as a problem, it makes you understand actually it's a blessing, and actually it's, you're here in this, guys, for a reason, and it's to do something with it. It kind of kickstarts you into like, well, if I am this person, how can I use this? How can I make it a positive thing, you know?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I did the same realm reader course, by the way, but that's just the side bit. God, I don't know anybody else who's done it, so I was like, oh, I did that too. Oh dear, we can talk about Doreen Virtue all day long, but we're not talking about her today, we're talking about you. So obviously all the work that you do is very centered around the soul and spirituality. So have you always been drawn to that since you were a child? Now, what led you to do the work that you do now?
I can remember, I have a memory of when I was a child and I was in bed and I looked at my hands and I was like, oh my God, I'm back in a body. I'm back in a body. It was like light bulb moment. And I must have been about 3 or 4 or 5. I have no idea how old I was. I was very young, getting out of bed and going into the kitchen. My mum was there. She said, what are you doing out of bed? I'm like, Mum, I'm alive. I'm back. She said, of course you're alive. I said, no, you don't understand. I'm alive. I'm back. She went, of course you're alive. Now go back to sleep. And off I went to bed. And I never understood the significance of why I always had this memory until I was so much older. And so when I was young, I was like, well, why am I here? What is the meaning of life? Who am I? And I remember looking at the television thinking everything I do affects everything and everybody, which is the butterfly effect, isn't it? And then I remember looking at the TV, which was sort of up high because I was only little, and thinking stuff was going on in America. And I was like, I have no effect on that. And you doubt yourself, and then just being highly sensitive and going through life and having the different challenges that we have growing up. But I was always led to spiritual things. I think I was about 15. I thought, what would happen if you know, if I lost someone that I really loved close to me? How would I deal with that? And I remember picking up my first book, 10 Secrets About Life Every Woman Should Know, and that sort of started me on that spiritual journey. I also remember another moment from being very young thinking, what if something happened to my parents and they don't know I love them? So I said, I love you. And now it's a ritual. We always tell it. I tell everyone I love them. I can't help it. But that was from a young child. And then just going on this path and being in very dark times and not understanding who I was, where I fit in. And it's that journey through life, isn't it, that we all have to take. Uncovering. But I knew from a young child that I was here for a reason. I was highly I had some pieces of the puzzle, but they weren't put together until I was a little bit older.
Yeah.
About 15, when I picked up this first book, and then my mum said to me when I was about 18, do you want to come to this thing with a friend? What's it about? She went, healing. Ding, yes, straight away. And I learned Reiki and meditation, and started doing all these different self-development workshops and learning and that kind of thing. And it's just that progression. I always knew I was never meant to do the jobs that I was doing. So I'd change the job, go something else. It's like, this is not what I'm meant to be doing. And we grow into it. And I'm still growing. I still have got things to learn. And that's part of the journey of life. And
absolutely.
Grow, and I share with people all the time. When I'm with people, and it just to help them, you know, to know that every single one of us is valuable, that we are loved, we are all important, we all make a difference, even if it doesn't feel like we do. Things like we're not making difference to no one, by just, you know, putting on a piece of music and being in it and feeling good, you still have that effect, that vibration, that ripple effect that goes out across on the planet. And so yeah, I've always known, and obviously even more so now as we get older, but it's a continuous journey for all of us, because we still have doubts, we still have,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, we all have that. That's normal, it's being part of life. We're not here to be perfect, we are here
No.
to and to be authentic and to grow and to learn and to enjoy the journey as much as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say some days I am Beyonce and some days I am Gollum, and it's fine. Because when I have my Gollum days, I know that I can be Beyonce again tomorrow. It's fine.
It is.
Try not to beat myself up too much, but it's a process, it's a journey, it's all learning, right? So as such, what has been your biggest failure to date, and what did it teach you?
My biggest failure.
Mm.
Oh, that's an interesting question. My biggest failure. I don't think there's failures. I think there's no failure, only feedback.
I like that. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, so there's nothing that I would say, oh, that was a failure. I mean, there's been many things that have failed at in the past or not been quite as I wanted, but I don't believe in failure, only feedback, and for us to learn and grow from.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't really got an answer to that question, my biggest failure. What I've
My
learned.
quote I love is rejection is redirection. Right, so it's all taking us closer to where we're supposed to be. So when you go down the path and it doesn't work, it's not that you're bad or you're not worthy or you're not deserving. It's like it's pushing you on a different path to where you're supposed to be.
100%. And sometimes people are so off purpose that they need something major, big to happen for them to reassess life, what it's all about, doing with their lives and that kind of thing. But yeah, I even say to my children, there's no failures, only feedback. You know, learn what went well, what didn't go well, what would I do differently next time.
Yeah. I like that. I'm going to take that. Any feedback? I have to remember that. I like that. So if you could turn this clock back and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell her?
What would I tell her? I would tell her to, seriously meditate, to really make that a daily practice, and to connect within and to resource with our higher selves, and to go there whenever we need to get to that place of peace for the answers, you know, to be in that silence, to be in that oneness, and just how loved she is and how valuable and how important, and that life is not about being happy every single day. You know, we have the twists and turns, the up and downs, which is life, and to go with the flow, you know, to really recognize when something, you feel that resistance, you feel it, and to relax, to breathe, to let it go. You know, this too shall pass, which is what I ever say if I'm ever in a funky mood, you know, this too shall pass. Just to never doubt how valuable and how loved she is. And I think that will say it to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, somebody said to me, oh, do you ever wish that you could be a teenager again? And I went, no, God, no. It was like, especially nowadays with social media, it's like, I can't imagine anything worse.
Absolutely. There is no way. When I go back to my teenage self, I just think, bless her heart.
Me too.
And, you know, it was hard enough trying to fit in then and be insecure about yourself, and you know, it's like wading through, you have no idea where you're going, direction or anything, and then you've got all these outside influences. It doesn't feel right to me. Is to really trust in myself and to love myself through all of it, the good and the bad, because ultimately love is what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just thought of a side question for you, because of course we're both mothers, we both have children, and do you think then that the lessons that you have learned are going to be invaluable for raising your own children and teaching them doing differently than what you did?
100%. Yes, I say to my kids, you know, I'm teaching you things that I wish I was taught as a child. How to trust your intuition, how to, you know, sense people's energies and intentions. They're glaringly obvious. To, you know, gratitude, to look at the positive, you know, that I don't believe in death, I believe we just go home. We're, you know, it's like getting in a car, going on a journey and getting out. That's the same as life. Our soul chooses to incarnate, have our lives, and then when it's our time, for us to leave and to go back, you know, home. And yeah, I'm a great believer in teaching, talking to my children and telling them things that I wish that I was told as a child, to have that belief in themselves. And I always say to them, you know, everyone's got an opinion. Everyone, you know, some people like you, some people won't, but the most important opinion is your own. And what you think of yourself, and trusting in your heart space, and trusting you, everybody else, which does include me, I suppose, in a way. But to make that the most important relationship for them to go within.
Yeah, I like that. I like that, because, like you say, if you can't love yourself, do you know what I mean? Love and acceptance of self has to come before everything else.
It's the journey. I think it's a journey that we're all here, and we hear of like different spiritual lessons, and it's normally love and forgiveness.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is. It's been. I mean, I love myself unconditionally, even when I'm having a bad day or drama's going on, or it's like you just got to love and accept yourself and yourselves. You know, we all make mistakes. We've all done things. I think, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, or I could have said that differently, or done this differently. It's just like you just got to forgive it and move on.
Yeah, absolutely, because you can't change it, right? So, absolutely. So, who or what inspires you to be your best self?
Who or what inspires me to be my best self? My children, for one. And I mean, I've had many great teachers over the years. I mean, I think the first one has got to be our beloved Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer. They were a great influence to me when I was younger. Abraham Hicks, I adore Abraham Hicks. I highly recommend that to anybody to just listen to their teachings, to absorb. And that we're, you know, that I'm here for a reason on this planet. And so Gaia, you know, when I think why I'm here, and I go into that, I see the earth before me, like I'm in space, and I'm looking at the planet, and it's just want to hug her and love the planet and humanity. We live on such a beautiful, abundant world, and with all that's happening on the world is heartbreaking, but that's why we're here. It's that love. So be inspired to make a difference to humanity as well.
Beautiful. So, like, you now lead the Soul Circle. So, do you feel it's important for us all to have a space we can turn to, and has it been a blessing for you personally?
Yes, absolutely. We all need that space, and that space is in here, within our hearts, to go into that silence and connect, because we're bombarded with information all the time, and it can be overloaded. Having that quiet space to go in and connect is important, I feel, for all of us. So with the sacred space, I do live clearing calls on all different kinds of subjects, and they've been part of my journey. When I started the Earth Angel Sanctuary in 2014, which was a membership site, I created all the videos to help clear different emotions, and how to ground, and how to protect yourself, and cleanse your aura, and mirror work, and all those kinds of things. In 2000, and I think it was 2000 last year or the year before, I can't even remember how long ago it was. I changed it, I think it was last year. I changed it to the Soul Circle and put all the videos that I'd created originally in the Earth Angel group for free, which I set up in 2000. And with the Soul Circle, we'd already been doing live calls on loads of different subjects. And about the soul stuff, like how do I feel about me, how much do I love my body, calls on our chakras, calls on about the voice in our head that never shuts up, on the different dimensions. So these have all been soul work, things that I've become aware of, and I'm done a bit of work myself, like, oh, I could do this as a live call, I could help others. And I'm going through personally on my journey, others are as well. So we've done a call on Friday, so on entities and the different ways they can attack us, and how they can do that, because once we're aware of the tactics. And one thing was for dreams. I've been having crazy dreams for a while, and I'm like, what is going on with my dreams? Especially when I wake up, I'm like, oh, you're in a bit of a funk, you've got emotions like that dreams. And recognizing that, it's like, brilliant, I'm going to do a live call on this. So that was the latest call that I've done. There's been so many fantastic calls in there on different things, and it's centered around ourselves, our homes, and to working through our chakras, and doing all kinds of different things to raise our vibration and to release what we're holding on to. So it's been the biggest blessing, because since I started the Earth Angel Sanctuary in 6 years now, isn't it? 6 years.
Wow.
It's given me the most growth,
Yeah.
because I'm a teacher, but I'm also still the student.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has been the biggest blessing, and I'm blessed to have some wonderful members in there. Many of them have been there a long time, and to see the transformation in them,
Yeah.
and the difference in them is phenomenal. And as I say to them, and we have journey calls as well. I've got one tonight, which is a Zoom call. We have it once a week, and we'll go on there and we just share where we are, if there's anything good going on, we're struggling with, and if it's a general thing, I'm like, right, we'll do a live call on this so we can clear it. It's phenomenal. I love it. I love the members, and I love the growth and the community, but it's very empowering. I don't want people to look at me as the teacher. It's because I'm always a student. It's to guide them. I call it treasure hunting. We go treasure hunting, looking for stuff
I like that.
within ourselves.
I like that, because like you said, if you're going through it, then other people are going through it as well.
Yeah,
we're all on this journey together. Just because we're doing it differently doesn't mean that we're going through different things.
Yeah, and we've also done a lot of planetary work as well in there, to help humanity, to help the planet, to send out love and over the planet as well, on that way. But it is very focused on what's going on within us, to release it, so we can replace it with more love, with more light, and to empower people. And I love it. I'm so blessed to have it, because it has been the one of the greatest things in my life, for me personally, and for everyone in there, to have this journey that we call life, and to have that support, because I think it's important, especially when you're open spirits, you have a community of people that you can turn to, that there's no judgment, there's no, I mean, I did have a series in there actually, others as our mirror, and where we're like, oh, have I been where we're judgmental towards people, and to clear that judgment, but to clear where we've been judged and where we're judging ourselves. So it's like, I'm judging that person, where am I judging myself? And to shift the energy of that, so we can get to that place of acceptance and of love, and the flow.
I find that when I'm doing my psychic readings, I find that when I'm giving messages, sometimes it's kind of like, oh, this is for me as well. It's like, okay, I can take that, thank you, Spirit. Like you say, it goes out, but it also comes back in, always, right? It's that flow all the time.
We're mirrors, and everyone is our teacher, and everyone is a student, and you can learn. And if I find myself like, really, I don't like this sort of person, it's like, okay, what's going on within me? So that person, I'm feeling their energy, that they don't like me, which is why I'm feeling that towards them, or there's something that's going on within me. And if there is, say I'm on a treasure hunt, I'm like, let's clear it, and let's get to that more expansive, accepting place, and that love. And I must admit, I mean, touch wood, I don't have any angry people coming at me or anything like that. So I don't know if that's part of the work I've done or what. I'm just coming so powerful. I feel very blessed in that sort of sense. But life's a journey, and it's learning and looking for the blessings and looking for the
absolutely. Okay, final question, my darling. So as you know, these interviews are called the Glow interviews. I wanted to call them that because I wanted to help inspire other people and light everybody up. So in that vein, what lights you up, darling?
What lights me up? Oh, there's lots of things that light me up, but I suppose if we go into sort of the depth of it, is when I go into my heart space and I can connect with this vision, this energy of why we're here, and the bigger purpose, the bigger picture of why we're here. So like we're going through it, and this is a future thing, no such thing as technically. So that absolutely lights me up, because it's worth it. Obviously, everything that everyone's going through, and just knowing that there is hope, and that things are changing, and that there is a purpose for all of this. My children obviously light me up as well. The sunshine makes me glow, just appreciating nature, the stars, the moon, the sunshine, the trees, the sunlight rippling, you know, when you've got water and those ripples of the sunlight, and just looking for the beautiful things that we can appreciate. That fills me up, and obviously music, a bit of music on, headphones in. I tend to go on a cleaning one when I've got music in. Yeah, just to get in that good energy. So it's up and down because life is, and just getting back into that energy when we can, and staying there as long as possible, but going into that big mission of why we're here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I have to say that this interview has been enlightening. I think it has brought a lot of light. I think it will be something that really helps people to understand themselves and their journey and what's happening, and hopefully try and see the bigger picture of things and not get kind of sucked down into the dirt. So I really, really thank you, my darling. It's been amazing as always.
Thank you for all that you're
doing.
doing.
And if you want to reach out to Sarah, like I said, all her stuff will be down here. So go and click and have a look. It's amazing. She's really helped me, and I know that she'll really help you too. So thank you so much, my darling. I really appreciate you.
Loads of love to you and to everyone watching this. Thank you.
Definitely. Take care, guys. Bye. Bye.